Well, good morning, Locality. We just want to welcome you here online this morning from wherever you're watching from. Psalm 56 says, "When I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God, whose word I will praise, in God I trust. I will not be afraid." Would you worship with us?
I worship you, 'cause you are here, you're working in this place. I worship you, I worship you, 'cause you are here, you're moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, you're working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 'Cause you are here, you're touching every heart. And I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are here, you're healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are here, you're turning lives around. And I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are here, you're mending every heart. And I worship you, and I worship you, yeah. it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. 'Cause even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. 'Cause even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. 'Cause even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop, 'cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you
Hey everyone, it's Marley, and I just wanted to give you an update on some things going on and ways you can stay connected. Do you have kids at home? We have recently launched our Locality Kids online experience. It's a great resource for your family to continue to grow during this time. We have video lessons that teach great Bible stories and have activities for the family. We will be updating this page weekly with new videos and activities, so be sure to check it out by heading over to our website, locality.church. Be sure to follow us on social media through Facebook and Instagram, as we will be posting about upcoming things, and it's also just a great way to stay connected to community during this time. We also wanted to say thank you to everyone who has stepped up and met every need that has arisen within our church. Your generosity has been amazing. Did you know that you can still give online by heading over to our website and clicking on the Give Online tab?
Today I want to talk about fear. All week I've been getting text messages and emails from people who are wanting to talk about how they're handling the coronavirus. I've also loved the emails that I'm getting from businesses that say, in addition to our rigorous cleaning standards, and to these businesses, I want to know what those rigorous cleaning standards have been in the past. Because we're all responding, I think, because we are afraid. One of my favorite theologians is A.W. Tozer, and he says, "A scared world needs a fearless church." I think this is an opportunity for us to spread hope. Fear is contagious, but so is hope. Everly and I were playing outside and she scratched her foot. It was nothing big, but then she looks at it and she stops walking and she begins to limp around the house. Moments would go on and she'd be fine. And when it was time to put on her pajamas that night, she saw her injury and all of a sudden it began to hurt again and she began to limp. It hurts so bad, Dad, so bad. Don't look. Being aware of her injury made it so much worse. We live in a world where it feels like fear and panic are accelerating at a rapid rate. There's a simple way to understand fear. As we become more vulnerable, we have less control and then fear enters in. And I think that's why we see people are buying toilet paper like crazy. We have a vulnerability and we don't have control, so it brings out fear in us. But this is not how God intended for us to live. In the beginning of the Bible, we have the creation story that is found in Genesis 1, 2, and 3. It's how God creates the world, and then he created humanity and says that we were created in his image. The creative God who created everything created you to be creative like him. What fear does is it puts a limit and it puts boundaries on our freedom. It causes us not to dream, to not imagine, ultimately to not be creative. When you worry, it's a misuse of your imagination. God created you to use your imagination of what could be, but when we worry, we use some of that creativity ability to imagine possibilities that cause you to fear. We're all going to experience fear in this life. There are some fears that are rational: arachnophobia, the fear of spiders; acrophobia, the fear of heights. There's one called pentherophobia, which is the fear of your mother-in-law, and I have never experienced that myself. But some of us have fears that are rational, and others are not. There are fears that are in us that we try to hide. Did you know that the number one fear that we have in our dreams is abandonment? We are afraid to be left, afraid that someone we love dies. And so we hide our fear. We hide our fear of failure, our fear of vulnerability, our fear of intimacy. We don't want people to know that we experience fear, so we wear these masks and we hide our fear, but hiding it doesn't help. Hiding it does not relieve our souls from the pain that we face. So how do we actually deal with it? Because you will experience fear. It's a common part of the human experience. I think there are 4 ways that we can deal with fear. First, we can fight fear. We can try to power through it. Sometimes we just have to go through our fear to get to the other side. But sometimes there's things that you cannot fight through. Whether it's the diagnosis, the car accident, we cannot fight everything, so what are we supposed to do? Second thing we often do is we avoid it. We like to pretend that it never happened. When you avoid it, it often creates an even greater monster that you have to fight later. The third is we freeze. We panic. We don't do anything. We hope that maybe by freezing, it'll just pass over us and it won't be that big of a deal. But that's not a good way to deal with our fear. I believe there's a 4th way, and I think it's the most important way for you to deal with your fear, and it's to have faith. I want to explain this to you in a story that Henry Nouwen tells. He says that when he was young, he had friends that were involved in the circus, and he was always memorized by the trapeze artists. Trapeze artists are strong, and it's amazing what they can do, and they wear that tight leotard outfit, which is something I would never be caught in. But there's typically 2 people who are involved. The first one grabs hold of the bar, and then they swing, and then they let go. And that person is called a flyer. Now, flyers have a responsibility. All it is to swing and to let go. Imagine that you are dressed in spandex. You hold onto that bar, and you swing, and you actually are somehow able to let go. What would you do? I don't know about you, but I would be flailing my arms, trying to grab anything so I do not fall. I would do whatever it takes so I wouldn't fall. But that's the opposite of what they do. When flyers swing, they let go, and they only have one responsibility, and that is to throw their hands up and trust that there is another person swinging called the catcher. The catcher's responsibility is to catch you, and the only way they can do it is if you put your hands up and you're still. This is a picture of what we are supposed to do with our fear. We throw our hands up to God and say, I trust that you will catch me. I trust that you have always been faithful, that you will be faithful. What you need to know about fear is that it's common, and we all are going to experience it, but there is a way that we can deal with it. Our fear stands between us and God, but faith puts God between us and our fears. You are never intended to carry fear through this life. Fear puts boundaries on your freedom, and you serve a God who wants you to be free. There is a story of David, an incredible man who's a man after God's own heart, but yet he had fear. And he wrote this psalm out of Psalm 34, and this is what it says. I will praise the Lord at all times. I will constantly speak his praises. I will boast only in the Lord. Let all who are helpless take heart. Come, let us tell of the Lord's greatness. Let us exalt his name together. I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. You have a responsibility to let go and to have faith and to trust that if I let go and have faith, I serve a God who will be there for me, who wants to free me from my fear. Amen.
Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward